love, Rose here with the Cackling Moon. This is going to be your Luna y Sol reading. For this reading, I will be working with the Halloween Tarot, the Bohemian Gothic Tarot, the first edition, and also my Oracle of Oddities. And there's no question for this reading, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the spread and just see what comes through. So let me just get situated here. All right. So we're going to be doing Luna. So this La Luna is going to be read with the Bohemian Gothic, and El Sol is going to be read with the Halloween Tarot. So that's the way I'm going to do that. Let me just make sure I have all my cards. Okay, so let's start with El Sol first. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to put all the cards out on the table, and then it'll make it easier for me to do the reading. This one we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 oracle. 1, 2, 3. Maybe it'll be better if I have them facing this way so you can see them. I need to get a bigger desk. This one. 2, 3. And then 2 oracle cards for each one. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter how I have them laid out on the table, because you're not going to be able to see the whole thing. It is what it is. Okay. So for Luna, 1, 2. I'll just stick these over here. And then for Sol, there we go. All right. Okay, I think we're good. So let me have my spread here so I can remember what everything is. All right, so we're gonna start with the El Sol. So number 1 is your life. So life, your life purpose. So your life purpose. We have the Ace of Imps or the Ace of Wands. I love it. So life purpose is right now. Like, this is talking about right now. You are supposed to be starting fresh, okay? An Ace card is all about starting over, starting new, a new path, a new journey, a new interest. It's the wand suit, and wands is fire, and that is your passions and everything that just like gets you going, you know? It's sexual energy as well. It's physical energy to me too. But I feel like it's just a brand new passion, like just a need to ignite, like you're igniting the flame, you know? So definitely with your purpose is something to create, I feel. Something to create, or literally following your heart. Like, this is the card that would pretty much describe what it's like to follow your heart. And that is your true life purpose. I also feel like this card being like you're igniting the candle, you know what I mean? Like, I just see the candle and the flame. I feel like it's your purpose to be an inspiration to other people. I also have ringing in my left ear right now, so I don't know if that's something you experience yourself, but that could also be a sign that perhaps spirit connects with you too, because I'm definitely experiencing well, now it's gone. Well, I was experiencing a ringing in my ear. So I don't know, maybe that's something that you've been wanting to tackle with or whatnot, the mediumship, that kind of thing. So if that's part of your path right now, let that be a sign to you that you're on the right course. But I feel like it's just kind of saying like you're an inspiration to other people. I feel like often you don't allow yourself to think that. It's kind of like you minimize yourself towards other people. You don't see the importance that you play, the important role that you play in other people's lives. And I feel like there's been times where you've been that person that has just been someone else's shining grace, saving grace, I guess is what I want to say. And maybe you don't necessarily realize it, okay? But you do have that effect on people. Number 2, the heartbeat. What makes you strong and confident? So we have the death card. I love it. Like I said, are you into the mediumship? Is mediumship your thing? Because the death card popping up too. But what makes you strong and confident is your ability to adapt, I feel, with the change, your ability to transform. I'm just seeing right now, like Spirit showing me kind of like the skin coming off of a snake. When a snake sheds its skin, your ability to kind of mold yourself to fit any kind of social dynamic, to be you're just a very moldable person. I also feel like it's just like you have that ability to relate to a lot of people. And so you have that ability to gain trust in people and whatnot. And maybe that's why I was feeling like you're someone's saving grace here. But the El Soul portion of the reading is like looking at your life purpose type stuff. So I do feel like mediumship and connecting with spirit in that way. I do feel like that is a possibility of a path that maybe you should be looking more into, especially if this is something that you're interested in. I feel like I need to say that too. I love that the death card, the little skeleton, is watering the pumpkins. He's watering the plants and whatnot. So to me, that's just kind of saying you have a strength in being there for other people. You have a strength in just being able to provide. But as much as this is a strength, this is also something for you to realize that you can be available to people and be there for everyone. But sometimes you also need to step back, and be there for yourself too, okay? So making sure that you're realizing that is an importance, that sometimes you can't always solve everyone's issues and you can't always be there for everybody. Sometimes you have to be present for yourself too. So that's just something I wanted to throw in because I feel like that's definitely something you need to keep in mind. Number 3, the pulse, the outlook of your future. So you have the 6 of Bats. I love it. So the 6 of Bats or the 6 of Swords, the outlook of your future is definitely taking a journey or going away somewhere, okay? I do see this as you're going to be packing your bags, going on maybe a little short trip, a vacation, a weekend getaway, simply just a need to take a break, okay? The 6 of Swords energy is usually somebody who needs to step away from a toxic relationship or a toxic turn of events, you know what I mean? Like if there's a toxic environment that you're in, or maybe you work in, or whatever the case may be, the 6 of Swords is always an indication of needing to get away for a little bit, okay? Going towards more peaceful, calm serenity, and not so much, a busy social setting, okay? So definitely for that, the outlook of the future is saying if you have the desire to get away, this card is pretty much saying, yes, book that vacation or make the plans to get away for a little bit. Even if this is just simply a day or a night, it doesn't have to be this glamorous 7-day vacation. I mean, this can simply be a weekend thing, or it could simply be just calling in sick from work and having a you day, okay? But whatever the case may be, like I said, you're that person that is very giving and you're there for other people. You utilize your energy a lot for other people. But when you become burned out and when you have that need to rest, I could definitely see why the 6 of Bats is in your near future. So there is a need for kind of closing yourself off, closing up shop, and taking some time for yourself. So really beautiful. The next two cards are the oracle cards for insight. So we have the Psyche. I love it. And then we also have the Listen. Wow. So like I said, and it's interesting how I was hearing the ringing in the ear, and look at the card that came through. It's an ear. So if you are definitely learning or wanting to learn or dabbling, or you've always had this connection with mediumship, these cards are pretty much saying that this is part of your path, okay? The Psyche is utilizing the top 3 chakras, which is your the crown, the third eye, and your voice. So I feel like it's definitely utilizing the top 3 chakras right now, making sure you're taking care of yourself with those 3 chakras. Maybe you do a lot of readings or you do a lot of communicating and whatnot. So those cards could be coming up for guidance of making sure you're taking care of those 3 chakras, making sure you're cleansing, you are meditating, you are grounding, you are, giving a break when you need a break, that kind of thing. I like to look at the shadow cards too, just for the fun of it. So the shadow card for your soul portion is 7 of Bats. The 7 of Bats or the 7 of Swords. So to me, like, take this as a warning card of manipulative people or manipulation that might be surrounding you. People who are just a little bit tricky people, you know what I mean? People who aren't always straightforward and upfront with you about things. Maybe that's why the Listen card is coming up. So you're being guided to trust your intuitive insights about certain people or situations. Okay. Now let's dive into La Luna. So La Luna is the darker portion of yourself. So we're going to be looking at death, what you need to let go of. And we have the High Priestess. I love it. So your intuition, your fear of intuition, perhaps your fear of your more psychic nature, needing to let go of those things, needing to let go of not trusting your intuition when it comes to making decisions, when it comes to leading your life. Okay. It's interesting that the High Priestess came up for that, for stuff to let go of. It's not saying to let go of your psychic nature. It's actually telling me the opposite, to embrace that more and not be afraid of it. Sorry, I get so thirsty when I'm talking. Number 2, suffocation, something that you fear. So we have the 6 of Cups. Now, I freaking love this. I love this when this happens. 6 of Cups for me personally is my personal card for spirit connection. That I just completely, like, when I go through my tarot deck and I'm doing like spirit connection readings, I always designate the 6 of Cups as spirit or past loved ones trying to connect. So I see this as the suffocation, something that you fear. It's interesting to me. If you do have a fear of connecting with the paranormal, connecting with ghosts, connecting with spirit, connecting with past loved ones or people who have passed on and you don't necessarily know who they are, but you could sense them around you. Do you have a sensitivity to that? Because I'm telling you, like, that's what I'm picking up with the cards and then hearing the ringing in the ear. So if there is a fear of that, if there is a fear of connecting with spirit or receiving spirit or seeing something that you don't know how to explain, that's what that card is representing. There's also, like, let's not look at it as just that though. Let's look at the 6 of Swords or the 6 of Cups as something that you fear as perhaps the energy exchange. Maybe you fear, giving so much of yourself to someone else and then not giving it back in return. Do you fear relationships? Do you fear love? Do you fear any kind of like an energy, a back and forth type of an energy with a person? This card could also represent someone from your past coming back into your present. So is there someone from the past that you fear and that you don't want to connect with? Dead or alive, but I'm talking about also alive. So, is there someone from like an ex, or is there an ex-friend or somebody that it's just like, you just really don't have the time and energy to deal with them. And so you do fear them coming back. You know what I mean? So that's another thing too. That's part of the shadow aspect of yourself. Number Number 3, silence, your soul's calling, your inner soul's calling. And you have the Knight of Wands. I love that your soul's calling plus your life purpose is both a Wands suit. It's definitely telling me something of what you're passionate about. You are seriously supposed to be doing something that you feel totally called to do, that you're passionate about, that you're interested in, that just gives you, it just motivates you, it stimulates you, but also it comes from your heart, okay? So a Knight of Wands is usually, a knight energy is somebody who is just like a go-getter, someone who is not afraid to get what they want, not afraid to do what they want to do. They're very aggressive. This card doesn't really show it too well, but typically the Knight of Wands is that kind of energy. It could be a very impulsive person, but they're just a really go-getter, and they're very motivated with what they're doing in life. So for your soul's calling, your soul is asking you to be aggressive. Your soul is asking you to go for the things that you truly want to do. Dive into stuff that is that interests you, but also dive into those aspects of your fears. So I want you to really sit and think about that too. Sit and think about that 6 of Cups. And as you're watching your reading, like take notes, and write down what comes to mind when you see those cards. And I want you to dive more into that with that Knight of Wands. What is your heart really craving these days? And versus like not necessarily a path that everybody else expects you to be on, but what do you want? Okay. So the oracle cards for guidance, we have Union. I love it. And we also have Connection. So spirit connection, union with spirit, union with yourself and someone else. Does this have to do with that 6 of Cups? Someone from your past? Is this spirit connection? Okay, I love it. So there's a lot of connection, like a lot of like one-on-one with these cards of what they're saying. To me, these cards are screaming mediumship. They're screaming spirit has a message for you. They're screaming like there's another element to your life that you need to tackle and really start to understand. And I feel like a lot of it, because of that 6 of Cups and that High Priestess, a lot of it has to do with your psychic abilities. And then this is stuff that maybe you've buried deep down when you were a child, and now it's ready to come out, okay? The shadow card for this portion is the Tower. Interesting. So lots of fears there. The Tower is kind of like that earthquake that happens, and what happens when things fall apart, right? What happens when the foundation is broken, when the ground is broken up? You have things that were once buried coming out. So I was just saying that right now when I was talking about that. So it's interesting that the Tower card came up for that. So there is a fear of that. There is a fear of digging up things from the past, or there is a fear of, I do feel like you've buried a lot. You've buried a lot of things from your past and things that just didn't sit well with you for some reason. And now that you're starting to see it come up out of the woodwork, you're going to have to start to deal with it. It's not necessarily, this isn't stuff that you have to do. I also feel like I need to say that maybe you're just not interested in the whole mediumship or that kind of thing, or you don't understand it and maybe you're just not ready for it. I'm not trying to push you into it, but I am saying that that's definitely what I'm seeing coming up here with the cards for you. But I also, if it's not just the mediumship, it's also the element of needing to take care of yourself. It's the element of needing to tend to you versus someone else or a lot of other people. So tending to your own personal needs, and not so much being physically there for other people. So I do feel like there's an element of yourself that needs more attention. And perhaps you haven't been giving yourself that time and attention because you've been focusing on other people and their own needs. So definitely something I see there with that too, my love. Other than that, though, I have to say, I think it's a beautiful reading. I feel like the cards are really straightforward with that. I'm really curious to hear if this is something that you truly resonate with. So please, if you have any questions about your reading or you want to give me some feedback, please send me an email. And anyone, if you guys are watching, my fall readings are available through the end of October. So if you would like to book a session with me, please do so. And other than that, I guess I will talk to you guys later. So bye, my loves.